Well, good morning. Let's call this part one of the Peavey Mark III bass amp, the 400 GB. I've got it tore down a little bit. Got this board off. All right, it'll lift out. I got the power modules out, and I've got the two electrolytic caps out. And my first challenge is trying to find replacement caps for these. These are obsolete. I wouldn't want them back in there anyway, but they're obsolete now. That one shows a little swelling. If I rock it on this glass table, that one shows a tiny bit of swelling. So it's been under stress. This one looks a lot better. It's flat. So here's the challenge. Most of your modern caps today has a 10 millimeter spacing across here on your boards, and that's about 14 center to center using the calipers here. So that's my first challenge. I found diodes, upgraded diodes for the 52 volt section of the power supply, upgraded caps and resistor, 1N 4003s. I found upgrades for them, found upgrades for all these caps. The regulators, they're still available. These are 79 and 78, 15 C's, I believe. Yes, 15 C's at 500 milliamp. I found upgrades for this. These drivers, I found upgrades for these drivers. And all these electrolytics are going to be audio, not general, but audio grade capacitors. These two caps down here, non-polarity, will be replaced. But this guy here, along with these caps here, are like listening to your grandmother or great-grandmother's 78 record player. By changing these foil caps out, along with this IC chip, we'll bring it up to today's audio standards. The thing about this chip, it's obsolete. Its replacement in this package, dual inline 14 pin, is obsolete. And the only way to get this 14 pin package is in a flat pack and using an adapter. So I'm considering that. I want to first get the board powered up before I go back in and change that. But a lot of your current major audio circuitry, I could say that, carries that dual flat pack configuration. I haven't messed with this little op amp yet. I haven't studied on that one. But that's supposed to bring you from the 78 LP up to some of your big name amplifiers that you see on the market today, both guitar amplifiers and home audio equipment. So I want to make this a little different. And I might be overkilling this poor old amp, but I want to see what it'll do, clean it up. I found replacement transistors, higher quality, frequency response. They're not only frequency response, but how fast they work. Found that, and if you see these transistors, this is how they mount in from the outside. There's a silicone base, there's the transistor there. It plugs in as it sits like this. These are 9016 boards. They make a 9017. I don't think it's compatible, but I'm not worried about that. This bolts in, lays down like that. The transistors come in from the other side and plugs in through these holes, and these sugar cube resistors, 0.33 at 10 watts, are cooled through air coming through these holes in the bottom. No forced air, it's all natural. I might change that. But that's where we are with this. I want to correct myself on something I said. You see this configuration here? You got one transistor here, and the three old ones, they're originals. No, can't see it. The three originals and a new one. Well, you're supposed to match these, not the whole 8, like I said before. You can get away with matching 4 transistors per board. So you go in and do a beta match, which I will learn. I'm not a professional technician. I'm just a novelist. But you set the beta so they all are close together. That way you don't have one transistor working over the others. That's a hog, and that creates a lot of heat, and they work against each other. That came out of the CB world, believe it or not, back in the day. These drivers and these finals are a lot like back in the CB sets. People were upgrading the drivers and their finals and their CB sets. So that's something interesting. This guy here is the same transistor is here. So this is your driver circuit. This plugs into this black and white wire. You see that? That's a thermistor. The thermistor goes here, plugs in here, and this circuit in here controls the biasing to the drivers, so it stays consistent with the temperature of the modules. That's what I found out in reading. And We already talked about this guy down here. This is non-polarized caps. They'll be changed to fixed foil, a better quality, along with these general purpose capacitors all the way through the board. Along with these will be upgraded. So you have to think about what Peavey was doing back in the late 70s. This was a working man's amp. It was not an entry level, but it was an intermediate amp. And, it's not an amp that you'd go out and buy at Montgomery Ward's. I mean, this was a nice amplifier. It was a big step up from your department store amplifiers. It was made for a working man, like I said, and it was the type that you worked 9 to 5 or during the Monday through Friday, and then you did weekend gigs out in town. You do the local stuff. So they had to price this right for the working man, and the components that they used, they had to make a profit somewhere. So they didn't go all out on the components. These are just general use caps, and they're not audio grade caps by any means. I don't even know if they had audio grade caps back then. But here, give you an example to replace these guys. I've been digging, and you get on these boards, these forums, and you start reading, and there's some really high-grade electrolytic caps out there for the audio affiliates, and probably those caps you'll see in the $1,000 plus amplifiers, both home entertainment and guitar amplifiers. They're about $65 a piece to go in these holes. I don't know. It may take me a while. That's pretty good chump change for me just to get that started. But it's a project. I did some comparison. The parts that I'm going to put into it back in 1979 would cost $65 to upgrade all this. That's over the price of whatever they're putting into the amp in the beginning. But if I do that on today's standards, the amp, once I do all the upgrades, this $60 marketplace amp would be equivalent to a $600 or $800 amp today. Its sound and technology internally would place it around $1,200 once I get it put together. So I don't think that's bad for a $60 DOA amp. It will have the characteristics of not the best amp, but I'm pushing the major name brands that are out there. You know, I don't have $1,200 just for a head. This is a base head. So I thought I'd bring you in here and let you look at what the progress is. The first hurdle, electrolytics. And as you can see, I've got it cleaned up. That's something to grab. No, I don't want to grab that. That is DDT. You can see where the transistors bolt in from this other side. I got to clean that up. Here's the bad thing about this particular amp. It will only push 4 watts. 4 ohms. This is a 4 ohm amplifier, not a 2 ohm. So you got to be careful. Now the later models, they did 2 ohms. This one will not. So this is where we are with the amp. And I haven't even started back here, which is a lot supposedly simpler cap replacement. I'll get to that. I just want to get it powered up. So there you have it. Part 1 of the teardown. Peavey Mark III 400 BG. Look how big those runners are. This thing's built like a tank. It's the same thing on the other side. They're pretty. See that little hot right there? Real pretty. Well, part 1, teardown. Thank you for watching.